This is where the fun begins.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rancor Episode 6. Today, we are doing Feed Part 2. The Feed Strikes Back. But, welcome, everybody. How is everyone doing today that's here?
Very good.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, what?
All right, now, today we are just going to get into a lot of topics because these are a lot of the main builders of Feed. So we're going to get into building process and a lot of good stuff about the build and things. But first of all, I've asked FWW and everyone. First, Imperial and Dizzy, I just want you to give a brief, how did you get affiliated with Rancor in this project? How did you all get into this?
I got hit up by I think it was Purist, or what was his name, the main one who runs the Rancor. He hit me up ages ago, and then he hit me up again about like 3-4 months after, and I didn't see his message. And so then after I hit up, he got me to the Rancor log, and then he said, "Do you want to join the group?" So I did, and then now we're here. I love it. It's really good to be here.
Nice.
Yeah,
Dizzy, what about you, man?
pretty much the same, to be fair. Got asked to join Rancor Log, and then if I was in the UK, I said yeah, and then someone joined it.
Yeah, the joy of Purge, Alex, Cosmic, whatever you know him by, just chases down everyone. I'm pretty sure it was 3 times I was asked before I actually looked and found it all out. At least when I started, like it's the old channel I was kind of contacted on for. It was just funny.
Yeah. But now, I mean, because you all were the builders for like such a massive project, because we did a lot of behind the scenes on the last part of this. Because I actually did want to know more about this. This is just a big question in general. It can combine so many things into one. If you can talk about whatever part of it you want first, but basically, what was the planning and building process like? What did you build for it, or that type of stuff? Just everyone can put into this one here. Just put what they want about building it and the process of it. If whoever wants to go first, we go with Imperial. What was the building process for you like on Feed? And what you did?
Well, I went just straight into Battlefront 2 and just played the game a bit. And I remember one of the command posts and the specific building. And I just thought I want to do that, but I didn't want to do it specifically. So I changed it a bit, did my own twist, and to have the entire drawing of what I did. It's been about an hour doodling, and after that, just the amount of counting, trying to go to Finn's exact, measurements. But then I didn't realize that I just did it over. He's like, "Oh, it doesn't mind." So, yeah. And it did change the height, didn't it, of the builds of the base plates?
Yeah, the base plates. Like originally, we kind of had a layout of having quite a deep base plate. So it's something like the road itself would have been, I want to say 6 to 8 bricks off the table, which is already a pretty sizable chunk. And then we started to get a problem of finding filler for the project. So luckily we got a sponsor who covered that. But we did just kind of lower it down so we had like a longer road. So we could have kind of more vehicles and a bigger battle on it, so to call it. So more kind of quantity over quality, but it still remained. We made sure to keep it mainly tile road, a bit of stuff, a lot of snot used, just to keep that really high quality. But yeah, the road changed a bit. And I've got to say, maybe it was 2 months before the first convention, we got it completely locked down, but yeah, a bit of chaos.
Wow, Dizzy also, what was the building process like for you, or what did you do for it? What was a big thing you did?
So I'm looking at pictures as well, but then also just looking at the parts I had in general, because trying to get the architectural style with like the orange or green roofs, I saw that I had these orange like powered pieces from a rocket, so I thought I could use them, and that kind of based most. I only did one building, and that based most of that building around just those pieces. But
Yeah,
still
Dizzy did
keeping
have
with
like a
that
really
style.
nice one. How he just had the really nice curvature on all of his roofs. It was a really kind of nice thing because everyone did come at it with their kind of different style, which I always thought was really interesting. So you had some builders like we had Ben, who's not with this recording, kind of had quite a more kind of industrial style, so more kind of vents built into it, which worked actually really nicely. Obviously, we had Chris on the last episode who just thought, let's go as high as possible, which, you know, it worked out. Obviously, George went from the kind of Battlefront 2 aspect, which is actually really nice. I've got to say, it was funny. I pre-designed a couple buildings for this project in case we couldn't find builders. I designed the exact same building, and I'm really glad I didn't build it because you did a much better job than I did in like a couple hours in studio. I still haven't adjusted to it.
Yeah, but but I know you all did a lot into it, but when I was speaking of FWW, he was like, it would everyone had their part to play and everyone did major things, and now just hearing it that everyone had a part, like, this person did like a flooring or like venting, like, industrial, or they did the modeling or some greebling with roofs or other things. It just really is just like how much effort went into it. And sometimes with Lego itself, but even with other mod builders too, it's just sometimes it just feels like there's sometimes not as much effort put into some things now than what used to be before. Because I think some people are like, well, especially bigger ones, so like, we can do anything and people will like it basically. So, but
Yeah.
you all went the extra mile, which is great.
Yeah, like I said, like a lot of the builders, we did actually end up at the end of the time when we had it fully designed, we did end up with empty gaps in our road. So we didn't kind of fully get enough buildings to fill it. But I think it worked out because we had buildings where we had more kind of quality, if you know what I mean. So all the sides were kind of covered with brick, so they were really easy to work with. Rather than, I'm not going to out myself for it, but buildings where you just had like the front side and it's all kind of plain on the back, where not plain, just filler. So we had builders where quality really mattered, especially when we started to space it out. We had like kind of 3 buildings in the middle where they had about a base plate separating each of them. And that worked really well because you just saw the quality of their build. You could kind of inspect it from like 270 degrees, which I think really worked for it. So yeah, it's definitely quality over quantity is the main aim for this project. And for the next one, we're kind of doing in this style where, of course, we do have like the builds do need to be large because they attract attention. But we do have the roles designed so they can be really high quality things where you just want to get a camera and you just stare at like one little section of the build where you can see someone's put in hours to make that as perfect as they can.
Yeah, because I was thinking of like tiling on roofs and stuff, and I already know, because I already know how tedious it's gonna be for me getting Rivendell. I'm like, I see those tiles, I'm like, oh god. But that stuff like that had to happen with feed is just groundbreaking to me, because that's just repetitive. It just it goes over and over again. But I love that even though some things get repetitive, or maybe it got a little harder at points, that it still came out to be one of the best projects that's ever been showcased. So that's a great thing.
I mean, I think it helped that there's so many of us doing it that we could all focus on our own bit and make it as good as we can. Come together, and then the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like it really showed when you had kind of that focus, especially like say with roof. We didn't have a similar roof on any of the buildings. Everyone came with it for their same style, even if it was just plate with plate with tile on top of it. Everyone had a different way of how they fixed it in, how they kind of blended it into the building.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially like we had like some people who just went knocked out of the park. We had Typical, one of the builders, who was much more small scale focused, and he just went really creative. Like whenever I do like kind of snot, you know when you make hexagonal joints, I always like use kind of what I thought was like quite a complex fixing. I look at his stuff and like it's glued in almost, just with the amount of extra technique and kind of special stuff which you saw going on there. where you could see like he gave it his all completely. To the point where he had a little tree for the build, where to protect it to and from because it was so fragile, he had to put it in an individual power cup. Now this tree is like quite small, but an individual power cup just to make sure it can maintain that high quality. It's just something which really, it's just special when you see this kind of stuff for the builders.
Yeah, and I just from you and Chris last time, and then if I'm getting that right, it was because, but yeah, you and him last time, and then now, just how much there was put into this is amazing, because also, as you know, with lugs now, a lot of them get in disputes about if is that the best thing, but everyone had their own take on how they would want to make that, and it's came out great. And also, unlike some things, I think today you try to stay as true to the source material a bit as well, and also with like you said, like it wasn't really many, there were about maybe as many figures as you want. Every time I've seen Feed, it seems like there's usually not a lot of people in it in the scenes we think of. So that you were able to make a big design like that and do what you all did is very good. And that you already have plans for more. I know you're not stopping, and I'm like, that's exciting. But yeah, is there anything else about like the process of the build that you all really like doing, or is there just something else you really want to talk about with it, of how it was built, or anything that really impressed you anymore? Or
I mean, I'd say about the minifigures. The reason why I don't think you said there wasn't as much is because we took our time setting up, didn't we, with the buildings, and
yeah,
then it got to like when did it open? Was it like 10? Was it
10 o'clock? Yeah.
Yeah, and it got to like what was it 9:30 or something, and I'm like, oh, get the minifigures, put them all on. So it's just me doing all the droids all the time.
Yeah.
And,
that was your role.
you're trying to stand them up.
Yeah, like it was funny. I was looking over like recently. I've been doing all of like seed content. I've got the final numbers for all social media, which is very exciting. And we had one piece which just for some reason hasn't stopped. It like took off. It's something like 55K at the time of recording now, and in the last month it's done 20K. This reel was released in like October, and like the first clip of it is like a time lapse of us setting up at the London show. I find it funny, like when the buildings are done, you see maybe one or two people putting it down. Then the minute that George has finished the figures, you just see like all five of us there placing every figure as quick as we can. So you can just see like the urgency of the seconds are counting down. I just find it's really funny in that clip.
And the vehicles as well, just going in as well. The vehicles of
yeah.
So you would say you were really doing a speed build.
yeah, yeah. What would it be?
But but besides like what Imperius with the figures there, is there any other parts of it that was just really like big to you all anymore? Guess I know there was a lot. I remember the tower from last time about you talked about the tower was really good from and but is there any like Disney, was there anything that you really liked on it or like doing? Or
I mean, I'd never actually been to a Lego convention or anything before.
oh
So it was a great, just like going there, just meeting all the other builders was good. Get to see other people, what they've done. It was great.
gosh, well, I do. I think this is actually a perfect time to get into the next one because we're talking about how it was when it was done. How did you all feel about the finished feed build? Like, how did you feel about it finally being done? You're like, it's done, we got it, let's go. How did you all feel about it? We'll start with Imperial again.
yeah. I say it was really good to see it all just there, all the base plates were laid out. It looks so good because obviously, if someone else, one person did it, yes, that's a good thing still there. But with everyone all there doing it, put all their stuff down. It just put the hours in. Money wise, we were covered for practically. Yeah, it was practically shocking. I had to take pictures all the time when I could because I was really proud of it.
Yeah. I've heard it from FWW before, but Dizzy, how did you feel about finally having Feed done and it was just built like fully in front of you? Like, how did you feel too?
I mean, yeah, it
About
was great. It's just this huge thing that I'm just glad I could be a part of. I mean, that first time, first convention, it was a rush, but we didn't get the figures out in time for the public showed up.
No, we did.
We didn't get much time to appreciate it before it was all. But yeah,
like even to the point where, like Milton Keynes, I remember, if we just left the road out and the buildings, that was just almost enough. Just because of the beauty when you just see like the road and the length with it, even before the figures. Because I remember just being like hit by it because obviously, like I built the majority of the road, but like I'd seen maybe 6 base plates at a time, never like the 45 at once. So just to see it, it's a bit overwhelming just seeing like the scale of something that you've managed to create. I've got to say, like I've traveled well enough to Lego, but I've never seen like when we do projects of this scale, I've never seen it in the UK. So it just feels really good that we managed to accomplish something of the scale and actually do a success.
which is great. And honestly, I think that leads into my final question very well because I this might be a shorter one, but I did have a final question. I think I've asked FWW this before because we have some new people here. I always want to get their opinion on everything. How did you finally feel about presenting the project at all the different conventions you all did or where you went? Like, did you, like, what was, how did you feel about the reaction of people liking it or just all that stuff? How did you feel finally about presenting it at a con?
I think it felt great because I've been to 2 conventions already before. I went to Oxford and London. But yeah, as soon as I went to the other ones, it was pretty good. What was the question again? Sorry.
Just like how did you feel about people's reactions to it and like stuff?
Oh
like,
yeah, because a couple people. I think it was what was the last one? It was to Croydon. I had a couple people to come up to me and just talk to me for like 20, 30 minutes, just about it, about how many people, collaborated in all of this. And you obviously, Finn said you never see anyone do this in the UK really. So yeah, it was really good to finally go to all of them. Well, I missed one because I don't know why I missed that one actually, but yeah, I went to 3 of them and they were great.
that which is good. Dizzy, how did you feel about presenting it?
I mean, yeah, it was great just seeing so many people just look at it and enjoy it. Saying something I'd never been to a con before, so obviously you get like likes and stuff on Instagram, but it's not the same as seeing someone actually there being like, wow.
Yeah, but that's the thing I've heard from everyone, and I'll let FWW. But I've heard from everybody say that it was just like a major accomplishment. It was finally there in front of you. Everyone was excited about it. That was at the con, looking at it, at you know what you all did, and I've just heard that everyone was so happy with it, about how it came out and everything. So which that's really good to hear because everyone's like, yeah, it was awesome to finally see it there and every. But FWW, I'm gonna let you get that. How did you feel?
I was gonna say like about the excitement. There's one clip which is in one of the edits of the build where you just see this kid. He's kind of walked up and he's just seen the build. And you see like the excitement in his face. He kind of like rushes over. Like it's a microsecond in the clip, but I think that really just embodied the spirit of the project. We just had like something where if you're a kid, imagine kind of seeing that build. So I always remember like going to a couple of events being slightly disappointed, not seeing, the big US, the great kind of ball contraption, Solid Brick Studios. I was so disappointed they didn't show up to my local show, you know.
Yeah.
But to be able to provide something of that big, and just to see kind of the war and the the awe and the kind of wonder in everyone who kind of came across it, and the fact that you did just talk to people just for so long over stuff that people being so amazed by just the scale and what we've managed to accomplish. No, it's just the best thing about it. You don't even need to go to the event for any other reason except from if you're there just to chat with people, it works out just really not works out, but you know what I mean. It's really nice. It makes you feel that you've done something really good with the project.
Yeah. So at these Lego conventions you went to, basically, because Imperial said he never seen anything like it where people like talk that much to people. So in a way, at these Lego conventions, you became a little bit of a small celebrity with Feed, because everyone wanted to know how you did it and how you built it, how much time it took, all this. They're basically the same questions. Whereas I'm asking right now, it's you all just, but I get for like a conventions where for you all, I know there's a ton of big ones here, but like for mainly people that haven't seen something like that before in the UK, I can see how that's a big thing over there, and clearly you have the success has been good because you've gained a lot more since Feed and are going to gain more, and I fully believe in that. And because of that tease you showed me FWW, I'm not saying anything, but I'm excited for that. It looks good so far. I always saw a base plate basically, but I know what it is. But it's exciting to see you all are doing a lot more and a lot more things, and that. And now that I know what you're doing, I could definitely see why you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a lot bigger. And now I see it. So yeah. But
like, it is just kind of growing, if you know what I mean. Like, even
yeah,
if you just look at follow accounts, obviously, like some of the big logs, if you look at Boba, Empire, they're all kind of sitting around the 10K. I can tell you one thing though, we are coming fast on that. As I said, Siege overall did over 200,000 views from an account with like less than 1,000 followers when we started. Over that project, we doubled our following, no wonder. And like, it's just growing to the point where I said we've got this one reel which is just continually resurfacing, constantly just going micro viral. It's not going, it's still doing for us. Like, it's achieved more views than I think I ever did on YouTube in like 3 or 4 years. So stuff like that, and we're not stopping. As I said, I've stepped back into the kind of large content creation, so new social media face, all of that. So we're going to make sure the world will know all the projects we do, and we will make kind of a positive impact. We want to be different, and we want to make sure the world knows that. So we show kind of our builders from their stuff, or even just the small projects they work with, kind of like promoting it and kind of pushing it out. So the world knows. So to call it.
Yeah, but I just think that after what you told me about it in the last recording for part 1 of Feed, about the new one, it's just like it astonishes me, bro. That you're like, oh yeah, we're going to do bigger and bigger every time, and then once you told me what it was and showed me some of it, I'm like, I get it now. You are definitely going bigger, and it's going to be very interesting to see what else. I now that I know the next, that's the one for like this spring, right? The one you
obviously, back at the last stream, I was kind of playing around with Bounty, telling him the fact that the next project we're doing, that I'm kind of doing kind of for the log, it's just a project which is just going to kind of tour the UK, where like we might like fit a kind of UCS Millennium Falcon into it. It might be a bit too large of a space to put it in where we currently got planned. We might need to shrink the build to fit it in. You know what I mean? So I dropped a couple of hints. Bounty's got a better idea about it. These guys, well, I don't know how much Alex says, but yeah, obviously we've got stuff going around. So our general intention is we're going to have these kind of big builds, So no matter what events you go to, you're going to have like a big build in the UK. So you see the stuff that people can be inspired. And then obviously in kind of late summer, September, we've got our big project, the big one, Light Siege, where it's going to be mainly just getting big groups of builders together, kind of building, working on it, so we get as many styles as possible. As like one large project that I might do is good, but you're only going to see my style and my interpretation. It's like if I built every building for Seed, you can tell, like if you looked at a small section, which ones were mine. So I had them all placed together in a way where, like, my style is something, but these guys just, when you see the difference between it, like that's the intention for it. I say the next part, I've got like certain sectors designed just to take builders just out of their comfort zones if they want to, if you know what I mean, and just put them in, like get different styles, merging it all together. I say, like, for the landscape, we're going to have 3 different builders doing the landscape for this project, which is just going to be like everyone takes landscape differently. So the fact that we've got 3 different builders, 3 different styles, I don't know what it's going to look like, to be honest with you, but I'm excited to see it. I really am.
Yeah, but it's exciting what you're doing, and of course, I mean, I know because we did this with Feed. I know as soon as those get revealed, as soon as you do them, I know we're gonna have a the next big builds podcast or whatever the next one will be. We'll talk about it, um but is there any final thoughts? I know we talked about the future a bit, but is there any final thoughts or any final things about Feed that you all really want to just make sure that gets in here? Is there any of the building of what happened, or is there anything else you want to say before we go?
I'd say about when we went to Croydon, which was the last one, how we didn't actually, connect it all, but we had our own like little sections of it. But I actually quite like that, even though if it was like separated. But then the other thing was some of the kids did actually kept on like messing around with stuff.
that was my mistake. I brought Speed Champions because some stuff happened where we the vehicles disappeared, so to call it. They had to travel back because of just something happened. So to fill part of the build up, I decided, you know what? I buy a lot of Speed Champions. I like it as a theme because, like, stars and stuff. I think it is the second best ever designed Lego theme, with Botanical at number 1 because it's different. But so I had loads of the cars, and my god, I thought it was bad, like having a maybe gunship hanging. But like a kid smart enough, you see gunship a meter above your head. You touch it, you're not getting out of that equally. Oh, but a car on the ground. Oh no, yeah. Let's see how quickly it can go into the wall on the other side of the center. Yeah, because it's funny because I remember like each of the cars had like a driver in it, and by the end of the event, I can guarantee you maybe one car had the original driver in it. All the other ones had kind of shifted around. They got a ride with a different friend, gone to a different part of the build.
You know what? You know what would have been funny about the Speed Champions? Just fit them in to Feed and just put some clones in there or some droids. That'd be funny. But no, it was really it seems like it was a really fun thing to display for sure. Because I've just heard all these funny or crazy stories about what happened with Feed. It's just like I'm like, wow, that seems like it was a fun weekends for it for sure. Disney, is there anything else you want? Is there anything else that you want to say about Feed? Just any part of it that you want to say anymore?
I mean, I think the best bit was just like getting to meet these guys and everyone else who was there, because I wouldn't have really had the chance to do that otherwise. So yeah.
No, that's cool. I will definitely say this. Even though I was friends with Cosmic before, I really knew that he was, because he said he was going to start one. That's what he said. Oh yeah, I'm planning to start, and then he said I did start one, Rancor, and then he told me like when he started, and then I was like I kind of forgot because some things happened to me with YouTube, and so I trusted some people I shouldn't have, but stuff like that. But But then I was like, yeah, I'll help you if anything cosmic. I'd love to YouTube whatever. And then it's like, oh yeah, you can help do the podcast. I'm like, yay, this is my forte. But it was so nice to. But yeah, it's so nice to be a part of it too. A head part of what you all help you all get your stuff out there, and it's also. I'm just glad I'm helping Cosmic. He's been such a great friend to me. He's always been there when I've needed to talk or anything. So really good. And but FWW, all of you all have been great today. But nice to meet you, Imperial and Dizzy. It was great to meet and talk to you. I see you're I like FWW or others that were on this project. Very smart with Lego building. You just know what to do, and you all have ideas for it as well, and but all the ideas and all the complexities that you all talked about with doing feed. I like to hear that stuff. I like to hear behind the scenes of building or creation, and and also like something like feed. Also, I think another thing that is very good for like thing like feed, like those kids that came up, or even those adults that are into Lego, like. I think you inspire people's imagination to do more, or bet you can do more with Lego and do more with what you have, and I think that's a great thing as well. Because of you said the awe and wonder they saw, I think that just inspires people to do more with Lego and maybe create future mod builders. So that's cool.
Maybe we've started the our cycle, so in the next 10 years we'll get our next set of builders who we inspired at London.
It would not surprise me because I know because I also know Rancor Log is a global effort. There's a lot of people from all over. I know that you all will hit, every country, there's people from the States, Germany, the UK. Like, I know you all can hit every single one good and do very well. But even I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing Virginia this year, but I definitely will probably do it next year. Just got a lot on my plate, but I'm very excited for the future because I know there's a lot of big stuff happening. But yeah,
who knows? I'm kind of based in London. Next year buy a car, maybe say screw it, go to Germany a couple days a year. Just completely screw over the other German logs, just, completely dwarf whatever they put out. Same with the French. There's loads of possibility, honestly. I've got like a little bit of an idea of what's going on, but I promise you, next year, 80% of projects that we've done, I wouldn't have even thought about by now.
Yeah, but the thing is I'm going to say this. I'm not giving anything away, but you all have done things that people have done in a much smaller scale before, but you all are taking it to the extreme. You're like, no, this needs to be massive, and it is massive. Like there's so many things you all fit into them, and so many big things you do. It's like, to me, it's just so much bigger than what others have done. I know maybe some people, some people make big stuff too, but it's just like with how much feed has really impressed people with the views and also just in person. It goes to show right there that you all will rise quickly, and that you're doing bigger and bigger builds. You're just going to impress people even more.
Like on the subject of bigger, the next project coming out kind of March, February this year. For context, the biggest version of it, which is being featured on the Beyond the Bricks channel, which includes the landscape and the base as well in it.
Yeah.
2 foot shorter than the landscape planned out for this project. And who knows, maybe even there's going to be a base on that end. I say it's going to be absolutely massive. And yeah.
This is the thing I told FWW. He's like Kylo Ren in The Last Jedi when he's shooting Luke. more. We need more. That's what it is. He's just like this man. The one thing I can say about you is you will build something amazing, and you're like, no, we need to make it bigger. We need more.
Oh yeah. No, I physically haven't touched the bricks of this next project. I'm already thinking about how I can double my workload on it.
Yeah, it's crazy, but how much you've done with it already, and that everyone else I know is doing, but definitely going to be exciting for you all, and I'm very excited for the next one after this one because you said it's going to just be massive, so that excites me too. But you all have been great. I feed, but I honestly like this way to feed because it we're I think what FW said it's probably gonna be around 3 parts. So this is two, and then the last one maybe. But it's been really fun so far to talk to everyone about it and the behind the scenes of it all. It's been really great to talk to you all here today. And I if there's anything else you want to say, or a plug, whatever. But if there's nothing, we can head out. Just whatever you. Is there any final things you want to say, or what you all want to do?
I'll say about the lights with Feed. That
Yeah.
one was really good. But there
Wait,
was
before I say
there
something,
was
I nearly lost the sponsor over it. Let's keep it slightly.
there was
Go ahead.
difficulty.
Screw it.
Screw it, yeah.
Yeah.
In London, when we were taking it all down, it kind of tangled all up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I get to Croydon in the morning, straight away, my task for about is it half a day or the full day? I think it
Well,
was.
I think we got you out by the third build challenge. I think, and I've
Yeah,
still got a box of tangled wires somewhere.
they're still there.
Yeah, I've got to admit I haven't found another 6 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. Well, I got how many did I get? Like 3 apart? 4?
Yeah,
It
you
wasn't
got
that,
3
but
actually. You did really
yeah,
well.
yeah, did
Yeah, the lights we had, the wires worked in 2 ways. They had a very good thing where they were the thinnest wires I've ever seen for a build, which when we were removing them after every set made it really easy just to hide them. Other side of that was they managed to get tangled at one event and they were quite hard to work out. As Imperial said, it was
yeah,
6 hours one day.
yeah. But honestly, I had fun doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
You
it
know,
happened.
you had your guy talking to you about the build, you had you sitting at the table working on wire. What else would you want?
Isn't there a video of me of just literally sitting there, just spinning
Yeah.
around with the wires?
Yeah, I'm getting the lighting sponsors set up for this year before I release that.
Yeah, do that 100%.
Yeah, but trust me, as I say, the sponsor who did it, they've reassured us that they've changed their designs up, that this won't happen again. But I will make sure that I will find old stock just for you, George.
Yeah,
Make sure that
I
there
was
is
just gonna
something
say
for you to
this.
do.
Don't let me touch them again. Don't let me touch the lights. I didn't literally. I had them all laid out. They were all laid out, all nice. Went to go grab a drink, come back, they were tangled. So who knows what's happened with that?
Yeah.
But I got punished. that I fully blame myself for that.
Well, that's a funny story. But well, I guess is there anything else you all want to talk about it, or just anything else with what you all are doing, or is I just
I think.
I'm just asking. Is there anything else you think you would want to talk about, or because
I feel like I've said my piece. Everyone good? to kind of call it there?
Everyone just kind of went silent, so I think we're good, right?
Yeah, I've set my camera up, so I'm just like just a bit too far to go on my keyboard. Send a quick message, what we're doing, kind of thing. So, public, is everyone good for that? There, I've got to say, it's been a really good recording. I've really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it's been good.
But all right. Well, everyone was able to talk about all the stuff they wanted to do, and so that means everybody. This has been a successful podcast, and we will talk to you later. Everybody, say bye to the people.
See ya.
Bye.
And then if FWW does the Jedi mind shit for good luck. All right, everybody. Talk to you later.
That, isn't it?
See ya.